Hey, my name is Mykaiah Clermont. We have Kat Natividad here and Brian Cirieco.
Hi.
And we are the Magic Conches for our ENG6, and we did the audio sampler project. And so now we're gonna go into explaining how that is. And here we go. Transition. And so what I'm gonna explain here first is how we preloaded all the songs. We decided not to use load buttons because since we're the Magic Conches, we want to have a SpongeBob theme. So we chose the 9 most famous songs from SpongeBob that everyone really usually tends to know. And we just preloaded them into the buttons, so instead of having to load each song individually, you just have to have them in your current folder and then it'll work just by clicking the song and then clicking play. So we start off by having each one of our buttons called the song name. We're going to use the fun song, for example. And we have it as a callback as the button, and then we're going to go into create an audio using the GUI data handles.figure1. Then we're going to create 2 different ones. We're going to create the audio frequency, and then we're also going to have our audio data, which is set as X and FS. And we're going to use the audio read function in order to read our song and put it into the different data. Then we have audio left for our mono and audio right for our mono as well for both sides of your headphones or stereo, whichever you're listening to. And we also have audio player, which is going to set it in order to use our audio play function. As you can see, we have the same thing basically for each other song, and that's pretty much how the songs work. Quick note, also before you use mono, stereo playback, or any of the effects, make sure you select a song in order to make sure you're playing that specific song.
Hi, I'm Kat, and I'm going to describe the pause, play, stop, and resume buttons. So we've done this as our first line in code for the button so that we can create handles for it inside the code as well as reference to the old code that was done in our previous things, such as the songs. So since MATLAB had already defined the functions for stop, play, pause, and resume, we can already call those up and then use them instead of having to create our own things and putting in all the variables for those things. So when we press the stop button, it stops the sound in the songs. And when you press the play, it plays it. When you press pause, it pauses it from wherever it's at, and then resume plays it wherever it's at.
So now I'm going to explain our tone generator that we have in our GUI. So first we pull our GUI data and we label that as handles.tone. We pull our string as well as our value using our get functions. We have our handles.tone.fs, which is our frequency, which is set at 44,100. We also have how long our tone is going to play right here in our T matrix. First we use the switch case in order to, since we have a drop-down menu for our tone generator, and we're switching our string and our values. If we have a C case, then it has 262, so we plug in handles.tone.no with the sign function, which has everything in it needed in order to play the tone with a 261.63, which is the tone for a C. However, we don't only have the sign function, we also have the sawtooth as well as a square function to create 3 different sounds. They're all the same pitch, however, the different slightly more coarser sounds as you go more towards the square. However, throughout our case, we took the very first line of our code that we coded ourselves, copied and pasted that for every case, and so 6 out of the 8 work. However, A and B, those 2 tones do not work. However, everything is coded correctly in those. Then at the very end, we take our audio player and we load in the case that was used into our audio player, and we label that as handles.tone.player. That way we can play it.
Okay, so these are the effects, and for the effects, since we did a pop-up menu, we had to do cases, or a switch case. And so for the switch case, we did it for each name of the effect. And so song reversal just changes the audio data backwards, so then it plays the song backwards. And then case is delay, so we delayed the sample time by, or we divided sample time by 1.5, so it plays 1.5 times slower. High pass is when we do it, it's a for loop and it creates a more boosted bass. However, since the for loop takes the length of the audio data, then it's going to take a really long time for that to go through. Low pass is the treble boosted, but also because it's a for loop, it takes a very long time to do. Speed up, we times the sample period by 1.5, so it plays 1.5 times faster. And voice removal, we did audio.right minus subtracted from the audio.left, which means that since the voice is the same on both sides, it gets subtracted, whereas the instrumentation is different for each mono side, so the instrumentation stays. That's the end.
Hi, I'm Brian, and I'm going to present the graphing in our project. So what we're doing here is that we are graphing, this is a universal function to graph our time according to the frequency for our tone, for our and for our songs. So over here we're going to talk about the chop function. So essentially what's happening here is that we are creating an array audio.chop from the audio.data array at the coordinates audio.start chop until the stop chop. And then we play it through audio player.
Both of which, audio start chop and audio stop chop, are selected by the user prior. So first off, we're going to display the tone generator for our tones. So there's a sine wave. Here we have a sawtooth wave. And here we also have the square wave. Now we're going to be displaying our effects. So first we have to select a song. So we're going to select Goofy Goober Rock. We're going to select song reversal. And we're going to play it. And as you can hear, it's playing backwards. I can stop that using the stop button. And then I'm going to play the fun song. I'm going to play that one sped up.
What's that?
And you can hear it sped up a lot. And then we can also do the Jellyfish Jam. And then we can do that as a delay, which is played slower. And as you can hear, it's really slow and very dissonant. So now we're going to display the pause play controls. So first we select a song, we just click play up here. We can pause it, we can resume it from that specific point. We can stop it, and then we can play it again from the very beginning. There we go. So now we're going to display the chop sample theme. So we're going to select the SpongeBob theme. We're going to set it to 6 seconds and 30 seconds. We're going to go ahead and chop that sample, and you can hear it's going to start playing a little bit earlier.
Are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain! I can't hear you!
And since we're the Magic Conches for Engineering 6, thank you for watching. Lead-a-lead-a-lead-a-lead!